Tonight, a Guatemalan woman granted permission to enter the country a decade ago under an order of supervision is now back home in Lake County after spending 7 months locked up in ICE detention. NBC5 Investigates has learned that the woman was set free after the U.S. government could not explain to a federal judge why she was ever detained. Here is investigative reporter Bennett Haeberle.
Marina Lopez Perez is now back home in her Lake County kitchen, preparing a meal ahead of her children's return home from school. These days, she says it's hard to get them out the door. They're somewhat fearful she'll be apprehended again.
Tiene que ir a la escuela. No quiero quedar contigo, mami. No te vayas ni a un lado, quédate en la casa a esperar. No quieren ellos que me voy, que paso otra vez. Y quieren ellos que estoy en la casa cuando venga.
Back in June, Marina was one of several people arrested by ICE agents. That's her being led away along with the others after receiving a text message telling her to show up to an ICE check-in appointment at an office in the South Loop. The arrests spurred protests months before the immigration crackdown reached a fever pitch in Chicago. Marina spent more than 200 days in the Grayson County, Kentucky detention center.
Mucho tiempo sin su familia.
Ya. Mucho tiempo sin familia, mucho tiempo sin ver ellos qué está pasando afuera y sentí muy triste.
For 6 months, it was like I was speaking to the void.
Her immigration attorney, Cynthia Fernandez, told me it was difficult for her to schedule visits with Marina and required an 8.5-hour drive. Cynthia says Marina first entered the U.S. in 2014 from her native Guatemala, but was immediately deported through a process called expedited removal.
She comes back about 8 months later because she was fleeing due to severe domestic violence. She comes back in 2015 with her son. There, they allow the son to process for asylum, which he wins based on her claim. And then she is allowed in under an order of supervision because the child was a minor.
Cynthia says Marina has been compliant with her order of supervision.
We still don't know why she was ever detained for that long to begin with.
In December, another attorney filed what's called a habeas petition in federal court, asking the government to explain why it was holding Marina. It couldn't. While the law allows immigration agencies to detain those who enter the country illegally and deport them, the judge noted that those detained are required to be given an explanation or a record showing why that's happening. In this case, the judge wrote the government admits it has no record of why Marina's supervision was revoked and makes no effort to explain why she is now detained. And the government conceded that it couldn't find a copy of any notice that the order had been revoked or any documents memorializing the decision to revoke it and detain her.
What to you stands out about her particular case?
The injustice of it all. We had never seen them not communicate with us.
An NBC5 Investigates review of ICE data shows Marina's 200-day stay in ICE custody is 4 times longer than the average stay in detention, which is just 47 days. She says her return home on Christmas Day was a gift her family wasn't sure would happen.
Abrazándome, ma. Gracias a Dios ya llegaste por Navidad y no vamos a pasar Navidad solo.
The smile Marina has when talking about Christmas fades when she tells me she's had trouble sleeping and is still traumatized by her time in ICE detention.
¿Tienes miedo?
Sí.
¿Por qué?
Porque no quiero pasar cosas por mis hijos, tengo cosas que no quiero regresar en mi país. Yo quiero seguir mi proceso. Yo quiero estar en un lugar donde me puedan proteger mis hijos.
Marina's attorney tells me she's not sure where her case stands or if the federal government plans to revoke her order of supervision, which right now allows her to stay. But her case is not dissimilar from others we have seen. An NBC News analysis found 117,000 immigrants, more than half of whom have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, face the potential for deportation as the Trump administration has moved to reopen the cases that were previously on pause. Bennett Haeberle, NBC5 Investigates.
And NBC5 Investigates sent DHS 3 emails this week alone, along with a copy of the judge's order releasing Marina. We asked to explain what occurred, and Bennett tells us that no one here has heard back yet.